Hola, cafeños. We are Cafe Con Leche Travels. I'm David.
And I am Travis. And this week we're talking about 10 travel tips for 2022.
So let's go.
While we're going over these 10 travel tips, we are actually walking to one of our favorite vegan spots in Merida, Shango Mango.
I know we've definitely talked about it on the channel, but we may not have shown it yet, but it is a great spot in the north. It has outdoor seating. The food is amazing. The vibe is comfortable and fun. So we can't wait to show you what that's like.
And it is 75 degrees right now in Merida. It is cloudy and overcast, which in a previous life I might have been sad about, but now I am thrilled.
Yeah, it feels so good to be outside. If you are new to the channel, you're probably asking, why do these people have the right to give me tips? Well, we've been traveling Mexico for the last year, and we have made a lot of mistakes that you don't have to make.
So many mistakes. Don't make our mistakes.
Our first tip that we feel like is important is we feel like you should stay in Centro wherever you're staying.
Which is hilarious that we're saying this from the middle of a field. We don't live in city center, but when we're traveling, we have learned to stay in the center or very close to the center of every city we visited.
Yeah, when we first got to Merida, we did stay in the center.
That's true.
And it made sense because that's where everything is happening. If you want some kind of familiarity, there are a lot of expats that are usually there or for other foreigners. So you feel not as kind of by yourself.
And even though it's not always the most economical choice, they tend to be obviously pricier. The closer to the city center you get, at least for the first, if you're gonna be there for a while, the first week or 2 weeks, get a place in Centro so you get a feel of the land, you can walk places, places are open, and then move a little farther out.
Yeah, I just think about it even like in the States, how most downtowns are like, that's where everything is. So you get a real feel for like busyness of the city, the feel of the city.
And I think our trip to Oaxaca, which was awesome, we stayed about a half an hour, 20-minute walk outside of the city. And we stayed in an experience. This Airbnb was a converted lime factory, not the fruit. And it was awesome. We definitely recommend it for people who are visiting Oaxaca if you've already stayed in Centro and you know you kind of want to be a bit farther out.
Yeah, I think that's what we started to do was we got a little bit more explorative because we were thinking that we knew what was going on outside of Centro.
But when we were there, we're like, kind of wish we spent a couple nights in Centro.
Yeah.
So that's our first tip. Our second tip is to do your research, which obviously,
There are many ways to do this, but this is what we use.
so our first tool that we feel like people maybe don't know about is Foursquare. This is an app I remember downloading in like 2009.
Yeah.
And then quickly just got over because it was like being mayors of places and it was a social app, but didn't really know what it was, and Facebook took over and whatever. Now, all these years later, Foursquare is actually a really, really good resource. I think it's better than Yelp at finding bars and restaurants and interesting things to do around wherever you're at.
Yeah, people leave really good reviews in there. There's awesome pictures, and you really kind of get a good feel of what the space actually is providing.
And it learns what your preferences are when you check in and when you like places. And so when you're in a new city or a new town, it'll recommend a cool coffee shop nearby if you're into coffee shops, or an art gallery if you've gone to past art galleries. It's really cool.
Another tool that we use is TripAdvisor, and it's very familiar. I'm sure you've heard of it, but we use it kind of more for like a top 5 touristy things to find out about. There's not usually a lot of hidden gems, but if you want to kind of do things that most people have done, you'll find it on TripAdvisor.
And dig into the reviews. So many people leave reviews on TripAdvisor with like little helpful tips and tidbits. All right, this is the part of our walk that gets a bit dodgy. We are on the side of kind of a highway. So we're gonna pause on our lessons so we don't die.
The next tool that we use is, and a lot of you guys are gonna probably eye roll at this, but it is TikTok. So there are a couple resources within TikTok that we use. One is Travel TikTok, which we just use the hashtag Travel Talk, and you'll find other travel vloggers and other people who are kind of doing travel things, and they give you really good tips. They show you really cool places to go and things to see. So it's very, very useful. And the other is just locals. So there's local people within other cities that are doing things, showing you like real life things that are going on in whatever city that you want to travel to.
So you just search the hashtag, like if you're going to Puerto Vallarta, just search hashtag Puerto Vallarta, and you'll come up with a bunch of things you might not have known were happening. And if you want to follow us on TikTok, you should.
We do have a TikTok, and yeah, we kind of just show you a little bit more in depth. Some things that we don't show on YouTube, a little extra. If you want to really see us being goofy, there's a lot of that on TikTok as well.
Another tool we use doing our research is local Facebook groups. We've talked about this a little bit on the channel, but whenever we go to a new city, try to join the local expat Facebook group. We do not post in the local expat Facebook group because we do not live there, and those can get a little dicey, but we search for whatever we're looking for. Best museums, best places to eat, vegan food, beaches, and we just kind of read what the locals have written about and get some great tips from there that are not anywhere else on the internet.
The next tool that we use are blogs, and those have been around for a while. They are really good, useful tools to just kind of find more in-depth ways to do things. A lot of people leave a lot of good like step-by-step things that you may not find like video or on a TripAdvisor review. One good example of this is we found a blog that showed how to finish getting your residency visa, and it showed a really in-depth way of papers that you need, the places you need to go, what that experience was like for them. Really, really, really helpful.
And from those tips, we will be making a full video with our experience finishing the residency process in Mexico.
Stay tuned for that.
And the last tool that we use, that you are no doubt familiar with, is YouTube. But of course, yes, we use YouTube to watch videos, to see the places that maybe we want to go check out. But the real way we use YouTube is in the comment section. We always check the comment section for helpful tips. And if you're subscribed to our channel, which you should be, I don't know why you wouldn't be at this point, we try to respond to all of our comments with any helpful tips that we have. But what's been amazing about our community of cafeínos is you guys respond to each other in the comments and help each other out and provide tips for pretty much anyone who's watching.
Including us.
Always us. So that is one way we use YouTube to find some tips that aren't anywhere else.
Wow, that one was long. Our third tip that we feel like is important is to try to find a walking tour in whatever city you're headed to. We've started to do this a lot more recently, but it is so helpful because it helps you get a lay of the land. You meet a lot of foreigners and also a lot of local people.
So if you can schedule a walking tour for one of the first days you're in a place, highly recommend doing so. We will leave some resources in the description below of helpful sites that we've used to schedule walking tours, and a link to an article on the blog of some of the best walking tours we found. This dog obviously wants to come home with us. Oh, as does that one. I really just want to take all the street dogs home.
Me too.
It's hard. 2023, I think we'll get a dog.
I mean, hopefully. Not if we keep traveling like we do.
Does anyone else want to travel the world and also never leave their house all at the same time? Because that's how we feel.
That is quite a dilemma. Gatos y perros por todos partes.
Someone's been studying his Espanol. Okay. So we've heard from people as we've made our channel this past year that we haven't shown a lot of the streets in Merida. So neighborhoods around the north of Merida are super interesting because they are kind of a mix of old and new and classic and modern. So this is a great example. Behind us is a brand new apartment complex, while directly across the street, an older classic house. Our fourth travel tip is whenever you're in a new city, look for the local English-speaking library. We've done this in San Miguel and now in Merida. What we found is the local English library, in addition to having like books and DVDs and things that the library has, typically has a wealth of resources for expats that you can use as you're traveling through, such as walking tours or events, wine nights, just some really cool stuff, and is usually like a gathering point for other expats in the community.
Yeah, they usually have so many events and ways to just connect.
They're also a really good resource if you're looking to do some community service while you're traveling or based somewhere. They are a really good place to get connected with the local community.
We just made a video with the Merida English Library, and we'll link it so you can watch it and see ways to get involved if you are in Merida, or if you're just interested in what's going on in Merida. They literally have something going on every single day, todos los días.
Okay. And for those of you wondering, we are now walking through the Montes de Ame neighborhood in Merida. And now we're gonna show you a cool drone shot because we got a drone.
Cue the drone.
And we're gonna use it.
Fifth tip that we feel like is important.
To not walk in trees.
The fifth tip that we feel like is important is to find a local bike share. Most major cities that we've been in have this, and we have taken advantage of it. It is a really great way to explore, to find things kind of in a slower pace, but in a way that you are really immersed in what is going on around.
It's the best. And so many people leave comments like, how can you guys just eat all the time? We eat all the time because we bike everywhere.
Of course, every city doesn't have this, but if you do know that it's there, you really should try to get on board. And if you see that there aren't any like local city bikes, then try to rent a bike. We did that in Oaxaca. It was so much fun. We biked out to a tree that was closed.
But it was still a fun bike ride.
Yeah, it was just super scenic. You really got to see outside of the city, and it was so much fun.
Tip number 6 is to use Airbnb experiences. We've had some amazing luck with Airbnb experiences. Obviously, everyone knows Airbnb has places to stay, but they also have a range of experiences hosted by locals that are a really cool way to see the city and to experience, get it, living life like a local.
Yeah, we've used it frequently, especially in the towns that are a little bit smaller. It's really helpful to try to find local things in these smaller towns. We're gonna take a quick pause to fill our bellies at Chango Mango. We are in the Campestre neighborhood, and we are excited to eat this food.
Which is actually the same neighborhood where our amazing dentist and orthodontist is.
Yeah.
Just around the corner. Hey, Dr. Pepe. We'll be there soon. Campestre neighborhood has some houses. Some estates.
Money.
Wealth. It's nice.
blast of fruit. It is called a berries refresher, and it is refreshing and tastes like berries. So it is exactly how it sounds.
Ooh, and I got lemonade with chia seeds. Limonada con chia. It is tart and fresh. We both got the guacamole burger. Ooh, with some wedge fries, which I'm into. They have an option of seitan or portobello base. We both got the portobello. Let's see how it is. I can't eat this without making a full mess.
Yep, as good as I knew it was gonna be.
That was so good. Per usual, if you're in Merida, check out Chango Mango. You will not be disappointed. They also deliver and apparently are now delivering pizza,
Oh yeah.
which looks like we have to try that out.
I know we gonna get on that. The 7th tip that we feel like might be helpful is whatever city you're staying in, it may be helpful for you to shop at a local grocery store or market to kind of get a local experience of like what it feels like to be a local in your city.
And we're not like the best budget travelers all the time, but for breakfast and lunch, we typically go to the grocery store and just stock up, especially if we're staying in an Airbnb. That's an easy way for us to save some money and also just like get a feel for what it's like to live like a local. Our 8th travel tip is when you're in a new city and you find a restaurant that you like. For us, obviously, it's a plant-based spot. We always ask the waiter for their recommendations of where we should eat next.
Yeah, they tend to know a lot of places that are similar or maybe things that you may never find like on Google for some reason. So yeah, we always tend to ask and they
Have
give
gotten like the best recommendations.
the best. Number 9, we feel you should enjoy getting lost. And that sounds so cliche, especially for like traveling, but it's kind of true. We've had the best time just maybe going to one location and then getting lost around it.
Yeah, don't be afraid of wandering. Don't always look at your phone. Obviously be safe, but you know, you don't have to know where you're at all the time, and we've had the best adventures when we didn't know. We found like cool parks and cool restaurants.
And I know some other people that when that happens, they'll maybe stop and ask a local what they think is something fun they should go see or go do. And that way too, you get to practice your Spanish and you get to find out local things to explore.
And our 10th and final travel tip for 2022 is just do it. If you're thinking about it, if you've been wanting to, if you've been researching, if you've been watching all the YouTubes, like it's time.
Time's ticking.
And if 2020 and 2021, and hopefully not 2022, but has taught us anything, it's that we truly only have right now.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about it, don't think anymore. Just go for it and you'll figure it out and it will be the best experience you've ever had.
If you're waiting until you've done all the research or you feel ready, you'll just be waiting forever. Like you'll never know what you don't know until you go out and see it.
So we encourage you to go, go, go.
I almost fell into this hole. So don't go there.
So those are 10 of the tips that we feel like might be helpful for you. Let us know in the comments if those are helpful or if we missed anything. And let us know what your 2022 goals are for traveling and where you want to go, what you want to see, all that stuff. We come out with new videos every Thursday, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know what's coming up next.
All right, here comes our tagline.
Hasta luego.
We'll see you next time.